Who was Obatala? Welcome to the Sankofa Pan-African series. Please support us through Patreon and by buying me coffee. Don't just subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notification button. Share our videos and check out our website, sankofastorybooks.com, for history, Afrocentric stories, and other resources for children. As I explained in the episode titled, Is There a Pantheon of African Gods? In Yoruba mythology and religious traditions, Obatala was the orisa who was charged by Olodumare, the supreme god, to turn the marshy earth into solid ground. He was also the one who was charged with creating the first humans to populate the earth. Obatala's other names are Oshanla or Orishanla, which identifies him as a topmost deity, and Orisha Allah, which is a contracted form of Orisha, Ti-Oni Allah, which alludes to his role as the one who was charged with creating the human forms which Olodumare then gave birth. Also, the name for the color white in the Yoruba language is Allah, and white is the color associated with Obatala, which is why he is also known as Orisha Allah. Please watch our episode, Is There a Pantheon of African Gods, for more information about the Yoruba creation story and Olodumare, the supreme being. So, one of the most fascinating things about the Yoruba deities is that they are not perfect. Each one has flaws and foibles, just like human beings, because they were believed to have lived on earth as human beings before becoming deified. As such, there are a number of interesting stories in Yoruba oral tradition about the nature of Obatala. One of them records that when Olodumare, the supreme being, sent Obatala to go and create human beings after turning the marshy earth into firm land, he gave him, that is, Olodumare gave Obatala a calabash containing clay with which he was to mold human forms. The place where Obatala went to execute the assignment was Ife, where the Yoruba believe is the cradle of human life. The work of creating human beings was so tedious that Obatala got tired and thirsty. When he looked around for something with which to quench his thirst so that he could continue the work, he found a gourd containing a white liquid, which he drank. Unknown to him, the liquid was palm wine, and he got drunk. In his drunken state, the human beings that he created were misshaped and deformed. He eventually fell asleep. Now, a version of the story has it that it was actually Eshu, the trickster god, who placed the god of palm wine in his way to tempt him. Some versions of the story claim that Eshu did this because it was his job as a trickster god to test his contemporaries, while another version claimed that Eshu tempted Obatala out of jealousy because of his success as a master sculptor of human beings. Another version of the myth says that it was actually Ogun, the god of iron, who gave Obatala the palm wine, which intoxicated him. Now, this version says Ogun gave him the palm wine out of the kindness of his heart and not out of malice. And that it was actually, he gave it to him to help him quench his thirst. Well, the one constant part in all the versions is that Obatala got drunk. Like I said earlier, Yoruba gods are not expected to be perfect. Just as regular human beings have foibles, so do Yoruba gods. The fact that they have flaws make them more approachable and more understanding when humans misbehave. Anyway, Olodumare, the supreme God, on noticing the poor quality of work Obatala was doing in his drunken state, then sent Oduduwa to go and complete the assignment of creating human beings. Oduduwa descended from heaven and arrived in the same Ife, where he found Obatala still asleep. He took the calabash containing the clay for creation, which Olodumare had given Obatala, and created people, with whom he then populated the earth, starting in Ife. Oduduwa then settled in Ife, from where he ruled the earth. Again, there are variations in the account of what happened when Obatala woke up and found that Oduduwa had outshined him. One version says that he exiled himself to the Igbo Grove, where his friend Obawini had settled. Obatala is believed to have later returned to Ile-Ife, and he is believed to have been one of its rulers much later after the reign of Oduduwa. His reign as ruler of the earth from Ife is believed to have been a very peaceful one. As a deity, Obatala exemplifies humility, peace, and purity. He is a patron of children, childbirth, and people with birth defects because of his experience when he lived on earth. Like other orisa, Obatala's worship continues to thrive in Nigeria and other parts of the world, especially in the Americas and the Caribbean, where he has remained a sustaining spiritual force through the travels of the transatlantic slave trade and centuries of slavery. Like other Orisha in the diaspora, he has also become syncretized with the Christian saints of the Catholic religion, serving as intermediaries between believers and the supreme deity. Thanks for watching. Please support us through Patreon and by buying me coffee so we can continue to bring you this series. Subscribe and please turn on your notification buttons. Don't forget to share our videos with all your contacts and keep your comments coming.